Oh, buonasera, good evening, and welcome to another episode here of the BOH Podcast. I'm your host, Rocco, and it's another day. It is St. Patrick's Day, or as I like to call it, the day you avoid Manhattan at all cost. I am telling you, I've worked in Manhattan since 2007. Every year on the train ride home, I've had to witness a fight, stupidity, shenanigans, just annoying people whose parents probably wish they did something else that night they were conceived. I hate Manhattan on St. Patrick's Day. And I do whatever I can to avoid it. If I could take off, I took off. People at my job probably thought, I thought Rocco was Italian. Apparently he's devoutly Irish because he takes off every St. Patrick's Day. No, I just do not want to be in Manhattan on St. Patrick's Day. Because I hate people. I despise people in general. And I want to be far away as possible from them, especially when they drink. Because people who drink are very, very annoying. And people who drink in public are even 25 times more annoying. And that's what St. Patrick's Day is. I mean, I did the thing today. I ate my green bagel. I have some Irish soda bread. I would want corned beef and cabbage, but no one else in my family eats that. And to be honest, I never had the cabbage. I've had corned beef, but I never had the cabbage part. So if someone wants to make it for me, just let me know. Ship it over. I'll eat it. Maybe I'll get some. Who knows? But yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. If you celebrate, I have no idea what they say for. I know they say something like, I forgot. What do they say for St. Patrick's Day? I forgot. Yeah, whatever. Whatever they say for St. Patrick's Day, I'm saying that to you. Don't drink too much. Don't eat too... Listen. Do not eat too many green dyed things. Green dye will do stuff to your intestines and your shit's gonna come out a color you do not want it to come out. So just be aware of that. Moving on, this past weekend I had some enjoyment. The wife and I headed over to Connecticut for 90s Con. And 90s Con, it's like a Comic Con but dedicated to the 90s. They had a lot of 90s stars there. I got to meet the cast of Full House for not even 32 seconds. I think 12 seconds. I got to meet the cast of Full House. I got to meet 2 Backstreet Boys and Joey Fatone from NSYNC. Got to meet Kel from Kenan and Kel. All very nice people. But this is the thing about Comic Cons and things like that these cons that they don't tell you. Here's the con with these cons. Here's the thing. If you go to any of these events, your experience will be better if you want to wait on the line to meet the celebrity. Because the way I originally thought was hey, okay, I will pay the extra money to have a guaranteed time slot to take a picture with the celebrity, and you figure, hey, you can have a few words. No, that doesn't happen. If you want to genuinely speak to the person you're trying to meet, genuinely have an experience with them, you need to wait on the line where they're at a booth. Not the picture, the photo ops. You do not want to do the photo ops. Because literally the photo ops are 7 seconds with the person. You can't say anything to them. You can't... I'm going to tell you my first experience with this. And I don't know how I got conned into doing it again. My wife, that's how I got conned. But here it is. A few years ago, there was Paul Rudd was at Comic-Con. And Paul Rudd, everyone knows, is popular for Ant-Man. Especially for my kids. So my kids wanted to meet Ant-Man, so we decided to go to Comic-Con, and we'll pay for the photo op, because with kids, you can't really wait on that long line for the booth. And it was my first experience of it. So I figured it'd be cool. Let's go. I never knew how rushed that is. Like, legitimately, you wait on the line, you go in, take a picture, and you leave. Like, you literally cannot say more than 4 words to the person you're taking a picture with. It's so awkward, but you pay so much more money for it. So here's what happened with Paul Rudd. Listen, so right before Comic-Con, I had heard that Seth Rogen was doing a sitcom involving workers of the United Nations and being like messengers. And I used to work as a messenger in the United Nations. And being a comedian, I was like, oh my God, that is like an ultimate deal for me. I could be a writer on this show. Whatever it is, I was meant to be on this show. And I have no connections in Hollywood. None at all. I DM'd Seth Rogen. It went to his, junk box. He's never going to answer that. I DM'd anyone I could find who was involved in this show. No one would answer. But I knew I was going to meet Paul Rudd. And I knew Paul Rudd knew Seth Rogen. So in that moment, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'll ask Paul Rudd. I'll throw it out there. I don't care. I paid enough money. At least I could just ask. But this is before me knowing how rushed the photo op is at Comic-Con. So basically, we get in there. My kids drew him a picture. They colored it. I have the picture on my wall and all that stuff. And basically, this is what I said. I saw Paul Rudd. I said, hey, man, Seth Rogen's working on a show about the United Nations messenger. I'm a comedian. And then they rushed me out of there. And Paul Rudd was like, oh, really? That's cool. I didn't know. I didn't even get to the part I basically just told Paul Rudd about this show. About someone else's show. I didn't even get to ask my question because they rushed me out of the room because my 8 seconds in there were up. So at that point, I looked at my wife. I was like, I'm never spending the money for these photo ops again because you really get no time with the person. It's the inflated charge to take that picture for the limited time you have and how they like rush you out of there. Like, bro, I spent money to be in here. Let me just say 3 words to the guy. So basically, I let Paul Rudd know about a show that his friend was making. I never got to ask my question. So now, fast forward to 90s Con, my wife, she wants to be guaranteed to meet the Backstreet Boys and Joey Fatone and Full House. So we buy those photo ops. And in my head, I'm like, hopefully they don't rush us again. It's a different company. It's not the same company that does Comic-Con. Maybe they do it differently. No. Nah, bro. They don't do it differently. They still rush you in and out. My picture, like, listen, guys, I understand I'm fat. I know I'm fat. I look huge in this, that my wife even cropped me out of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC picture. Because I was in the middle of a conversation about L&B pizza with Joey Fatone when they snapped the picture. I told Joey, I was like, hey, Joey, I'm from Bensonhurst too. I mentioned to him that we have a mutual friend. He told me, yeah, someone just brought me L&B. So in the middle of me saying, yo, bro, save me a slice. I had my hand out. And when I had my hand out, my shoulder went up. And it made my triple chin a quadruple chin. And I was telling him, basically, save me a slice. And they snapped the picture. So now the picture is me basically asking Joey Fatone for a slice of L&B. And then that's it. End of the conversation. They rush us out of the room. Then my wife is like, listen, Joey Fatone was her favorite for NSYNC. So she's like, I really want to have a better experience with him. Not just that rushed moment. I want to be able to speak to him. Yada, yada, yada. So I was like, all right, wait at the line at the booth. And that was the longest one possible. But then we had to go for the Full House picture. And, for me, I was a Full House fan, stuff like that. But I wasn't obsessed like some of these people were. Like some girl behind us started talking about Full House. And she was asking, what's your favorite episode? And she started analyzing the episode. I'm like, I don't know this much about the show. Like, I was a fan, but I don't know the history. I don't know all this information that these people know. So fast forward, they were running a little bit behind. This line's forever. Your feet, basically, if you go to any of these cons, the thing is you're going to stand in line all day. That's all it is standing in line. So we start moving forward. Line starts moving. I literally didn't look any of the Full House cast in the face. The only one I looked in the face was Kimmy Gibbler and Steve. Because Steve was on the side I walked in on and he made eye contact with me. And then when I left, Kimmy Gibbler turned around and said bye to me. But DJ kept looking straight. Uncle Joey looked straight. Like they literally were just posing the entire time. And people would just fill in, take their picture, and leave. So people were like, oh my God, you met the cast of Full House? No, I didn't mean shit. I didn't meet shit. I posed for a picture with them. I could have photoshopped that, saved my money, and saved the pain on my heels. Because, I have heel spurs, so standing on my feet for a long period of time hurts. I mean, I walked in, I told my wife, like, you get in the front because this is your thing. You want to really be surrounded by the cast. I'm taller than all of them. So I said, listen, guys, I'm going to go in the back. I'm a bigger guy. And I went behind them. I put my arm around all of them. But I didn't look any of them in the face. I could tell you what the back of DJ's head looks like. But I don't remember looking her in the face. That's how rushed it was. I spent 6 seconds with the cast of Full House. 6 seconds. And we paid for that 6 seconds. So again, if you go to a Comic-Con, to any type of these cons where they have panels, wear boots, and photo ops, do not pay for the photo op. Sacrifice your time, get there early, wait in the line of the booth. Because for the booth, we waited when we first got there for Kel, from Keenan and Kel. And you got to talk to them. You weren't rushed away. These people love meeting their fans, so they don't rush you away either. You sat there, you spoke to them, you took pictures, you did videos, stuff like that. It was a good experience. Same thing with Joey Fatone and Nick Carter. You got to actually experience a meet with them. And they didn't rush anyone away. Hence why I was able to make a video for TikTok with Joey Fatone. Because he's willing to do that. He's willing to take the extra time to really make the meet worth it. My only complaint about the 90s Con, I was kind of hoping that they would have 90s snacks. 90s snacks are what I wanted to see. I have some Surge, maybe the drink Eclipse, something 90s, but there was nothing like that. If you go to 90s Con, basically the whole thing is meeting the celebrities, because nothing else there was kind of worth it. Like, my wife did get slimed. They had like a cool Nickelodeon couch, a cool little photo op things, but the bread and potatoes of that, meat and potatoes, not bread and potatoes, meat and potatoes of it is meeting the celebrities. So that's what you should do. Go to Comic-Con, you do any of these cons, avoid the photo op, and just go wait online at the booths. Because I apologize for the excessive coughing. Usually I have a bottle of water with me for these things, but apparently I forgot it today. So yeah. Now moving on to something I want to talk about. The biggest annoyance I have with people is people who not answer you in a reasonable manner. Like, listen, if you text me, if you have my number and you text me, I'm answering you like within a minute or 2 minutes. I cannot stand people who take days to answer your text message. Yet when you see them, their hands have their phone in it the entire time. People who say, oh, I don't check my email all the time. Like, what kind of narcissist psychopath are you that you don't check your email? Like, it's attached to the phone. You don't get notifications that an email is there? Like, I don't get people like this. Like, maybe it's very new school of me to want to have instant access to people and stuff like that, but yeah, answer your damn text messages. I have people who Apologies again. I'm going to call this the coughing episode. I have people that I text a lot, and they never answer me. I have friends who I've texted, but I just get annoyed with how long it takes them to answer back that I won't text them anymore. Maybe that's the goal. You know? Maybe that's the idea. Like, maybe if I don't answer this person quick enough, they'll stop texting me. You know, my nun always did the rosary. Like, and she did it, like, way too much that I think was, like, not normal, that a part of me started thinking, maybe she's not doing the rosary. Maybe she was just pretending to do the rosary so she didn't have to talk to me in those 10 minutes when I came downstairs. That's what, like, the people who don't answer text messages remind me of. But yeah, I don't get, that's a big pet peeve of mine. People who do not answer right away. Like, how important are you that you could ignore? Like, my stomach hurts. The hair in the back of my neck will stand up if I leave a text message unread and I didn't answer it. Like, that's how my anxiety is. Like, my anxiety will go through the roof if I don't answer a text message. You know? Oh, and by the way, at 90s Con, I did get to meet two of my fans, which is odd for me to even say. Like, still to this day, it surprises me when anyone recognizes me outside. Because I'm just that humble, I guess you would say. That humble, that I don't believe people would recognize me. It's something like that, whatever that is. And it's still a crazy thing for me when people recognize me. And listen, if you're listening to this and you ever see me outside, say hi, whatever. I love when people come up to me if they know me. I am not one of those people who will get annoyed. Unless you're wearing Juventus gear, then don't come near me. Because I am not a fan of Juventus gear. But on a good note, they did lose to Villarreal yesterday. So, haha, good times. Yeah, so basically, that's one of my biggest pet peeve of people who don't answer text messages. So if there's anything you take from this episode of the BOH Podcast today, is if you go to any con, don't buy the photo ops. The biggest con of these cons is the photo op. Also, check your phone. Do you have any text messages that are unread? Answer the person, please. Get back to those people in email. I mean, what are you doing? You're not that important, guy. Answer the damn stuff. I just don't get it. Also, but what else happened? Oh yeah, since the last podcast, the electrical company fried my appliances again. Remember how I spoke a few episodes ago that my house almost went on fire because the electrical company messed something up, causing a surge into my house? Well, they were outside fixing the problem and caused a surge again, causing my brand new pellet stove that I had installed 3 weeks ago to be fried. Meaning, granted today's like 55 degrees, I don't need it, but I don't have a pellet stove again because of the electrical company. How amazing is that? Like, how inept and negligent are you as a company that you can't even make repairs without fucking up someone's house? Like, I told the company, I was like, you've like removed the feeling of safety in my own home. Like, every time I see your truck in my community, I have to worry, like, are you going to mess up and fuck my house up again? Like, who do they have working? Like, listen, I lived in Brooklyn before I moved up here. For 33 years of my life, I lived in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, we lost power once. And that was that huge blackout years ago. Over here, we lose power almost weekly. Maybe that's the problem with living in Bumblefuck. I don't know. Maybe that's, like, you know, what you take for this. But yeah. So I have no heat. The worst part of it all is, bro, my coffee machine got fried. So now I have no coffee. I only have a cafetiera. But who the hell wants to sit there and boil the water? I don't have time for this shit. They burnt out my coffee machine. Like, how random is that it burns out the pellet stove, a few other power surge stuff, and my fucking coffee machine? Like, are you kidding me right now? So basically, I had no coffee right now. I'm just drinking orange juice like a regular kid. Espresso non c'è. We have no espresso here. But I'm going to get a new machine and the electric company's going to pay for it. You are certain that they're going to pay for it. But on that note, the message of the day. The message of the day is save your money at these Comic-Con stuff. Just go, pay for your ticket, get the experience, wait online. Tell a celebrity that you used to whack off to them, whatever it is that you want to tell them. And then you go home. Don't pay for the photo op. If you really want a photo op that bad, let me know. I'll Photoshop that shit for you because it's almost the same exact thing. On that note, guys, state buona. Enjoy the warm weather. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink too much. I'll talk to you later, guys. State buona. Tutto buono e benedetto.